Terrance Crawford says that he wants to fight Errol Spence in a welterweight unification clash. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Remstar Says So. So Terrance Bud Crawford has recently interviewed and come out saying that he still wants to fight Errol Spence in a unification clash between his WBO title and Errol Spence's IBF title to see who the number one welterweight in the division is. I think that Terrance Crawford is a bit of a jackass, personally. No disrespect, I understand Terrance Crawford was the junior welterweight undisputed champion, the first four-belt undisputed champion the world has ever seen. But let's be honest, Terrance Crawford has made this fight nearly impossible to make. Um, Terrance Crawford was coming to the end of his ESPN top rank deal, and what did he do? He went and signed an extension with Bob Arum. I understand that the money that I understand the money that he's getting on ESPN is fairly good, and I think he's guaranteed $3 or $3.5 million a fight. But that's really sort of put him in a bubble because the majority of the welterweights all fight on PBC, Showtime, and Fox Sports under Al Heyman. Um, that's where all the other champions are. So I don't really understand what Terrance Crawford is trying to achieve right now. Um, it's just a crazy one, in my opinion, just because I just don't think this fight is going to happen. Al Heyman and Bob Arum don't seem to like each other. I made a video recently talking about how Al Heyman claims Bob Arum, no, Bob Arum claims Al Heyman's not a real person. If Terrance Crawford really wanted to fight Errol Spence and anybody else on the PBC, what he should have done was go over to the PBC and sign with them. Um, the fight's just going to be a real monster to make now. Errol Spence has just come off the back of a very good pay-per-view fight with Mikey Garcia and will now consider himself a pay-per-view star. Um, he'll probably not want to split this fight 50-50. But then again, Terrance Crawford is fighting Amir Khan on pay-per-view. I think that these fights shouldn't be as hard to make as people make them out to be and networks do. I think it could be as simple as Terrance Crawford fans buy the fight on ESPN, and Errol Spence fans buy the fight on Fox or Showtime or whatever network it's on, and the revenue goes that way. For every ESPN fight, the money goes to Crawford, and for every Fox or Showtime buy, the money goes to Spence. I know that the world's not that easy, and it's never going to happen, but in my opinion, it should be. It should be that simple. Just say, look, your fans buy it from here, my fans buy it from here, buy it at the same, sell it for the same price, and run the pay-per-view at the same time. Obviously, networks are never going to have a bar of that, but that would be the simplest, fairest way to sort of put this one down. Um, my pick to clear out the welterweight division is Errol Spence, and I think that Terrance Crawford knew for a fact he wasn't going to fight any of those killers over at welterweight on the PBC. My take on this is that if Terrance Crawford didn't fight Manny Pacquiao when Pacquiao was with Bob Arum, he's definitely not fighting him now. I can't see Crawford fighting Sean Porter. I can't see Crawford fighting Keith Thurman. And yes, Errol Spence is definitely the most probable if any of them were going to happen, but I just don't think it is. I think that Terrance Crawford has really shot himself in the foot because he's going to knock out Amir Khan and then he's not going to have anybody else to fight. I mean, maybe you might see an interpromotional deal between another matchroom fight. So you could see Kell Brook going back down to 147 to fight Crawford again. But like in terms of these PBC fighters, it's just not happening. Um, Kenny Porter already done a video recently saying that his son wouldn't be fighting Terrance Crawford because they're on the wrong side of the street. And I've made several videos about that as to why I don't think Wilder will fight Fury again, and so on and so forth. Um, I just cannot see Showtime and ESPN or Fox Sports and ESPN brokering a deal. It's not like Mayweather Pacquiao, where these are the two biggest fighters in the world, and for the amount of money on the table, it would be stupid not to do it. Yes, it will do fairly decent numbers, maybe five, 600,000 buys, but it's not enough for broadcasters to really want to try and scrap this one out. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Crawford is chatting shit? Do you think that Crawford was wise to extend his deal with ESPN? Do you think if this fight ever did happen, Crawford could win? Anyway, hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. That's the end of the show because Remstar says so.